Ladies and gentlemen, let's join the growing debate about which side is truly on the right side of history in Ukraine. A United Nations International Protocol passed in 2016 and known as the Kigali Principles. It mandates the international community with the responsibility to protect, known as R2P, meaning that wherever civilians face genocide or ethnic cleansing, the world should not sit and wait as it did in the 1994 Rwanda genocide, but act. However, when the Kiev government was conducting genocide and ethnic cleansing against the ethnic Russian Ukrainians in the east of the country from 2014, instead of protecting those civilians, Western governments and NATO and the UN were instead supplying weapons and training for the genocide conducted on their behalf by the Ukrainian government. Listen here to the NATO Secretary General last year actually confessing.
The war started in 2014, and since 2014, NATO allies have provided support to Ukraine with training, with equipment, so the Ukrainian armed forces were much stronger in 2022 than they were in 2014.
This is a key confession because now we can comfortably re-ask ourselves who is truly on the right side of history in this conflict. Is it the side that was committing genocide until it was stopped by Russia on February 24th, 2022? Or is it the side that came in to protect those civilians from genocide, namely the Russians? Mind you, the latter is still being fought by those who want to continue their genocide in the east of the country. So now let's hear exactly what Mr. Putin himself said when he launched the special military operation back on February 22. Citizens of Russia, friends, today I consider it necessary to speak again about the tragic events in Donbas. The People's Republics of Donbas have asked Russia for help. In this context, in accordance with Article 51, Chapter 7 of the United Nations Charter, with permission of the Russian Federation Council and in execution of the treaties of friendship and mutual assistance with the Donetsk People's Republic and the Lugansk People's Republic, ratified by the Federal Assembly on February 22nd, I made a decision to carry out a special military operation. The purpose of this operation is to protect people who for 8 years now have been facing humiliation and genocide perpetrated by the Kiev regime. To this end, we will seek to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine, as well as bring to trial those who perpetrated numerous bloody crimes against civilians. You will notice that he clearly states the people who are requesting his intervention to save them from an 8-year genocide and where. And then crucially, he also states which international law he is abiding with in conducting that operation, namely Article 11, Chapter 7 of the UN Charter, a peacekeeping provision that authorizes the use of force to save civilians. We can today see where exactly Russian forces are positioned durably in the genocide area effectively, after initially going up to Kiev, demilitarizing the Ukrainian army, and then withdrawing to the affected regions. As you remember, the Russian military called it Phase 2 of the special military operation when they started withdrawing from Kiev after laying siege outside the capital for 2 months, and never went in the capital. Now let's put aside all the propaganda, the disinformation and brainwashing from all sides and just look at 3 facts. Number 1, the genocide against ethnic Russians by the Kiev regime, the movement and position of Russian troops since February 22, and number 3, the confession by NATO Secretary General. Based on these 3 facts, which side is the one that is actually on the right side of history? And what would you have done if you were the person responsible for protecting those civilians, the ethnic Russian Ukrainians? Thank you.